DJ Wonder Chrissy here. It is Tuesday, August 20th, 6:33, 74 degrees here in Chi-Town, Chirac, the DNC. Let's give a quick update on that. Well, the 100,000 protesters didn't seem to materialize. I'm hearing anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 to maybe 30,000. So a lot of different numbers coming from different sources. Almost a non-event at this point, although there was 40 to 50 Antifa types that broke away late in the day and penetrated the first row of fencing at the United Center on the north side, and they arrested like 4 people. There's some video out there. Maybe I'll do another video today and show you that. But looked pretty easy. How they basically broke 3 panels of that. Looked very similar to the type of fence that they use in Washington, D.C. So seems like somebody's has the recipe for breaking those things down. It looks like maybe they just broke the welds and were able to crack it like an egg. So there you go. Let's talk a little finance. Yeah. For you people out there who say the economy's fine, General Motors gonna lay off another 1,000 people in their software division. Not only that, they mentioned, I don't watch the auto industry too close, but I guess they had hired some former Apple executive about a year ago, and he's come across on ill health, and now they're gonna slash 1,000 jobs in his division, which would be like the second time they cut jobs in the last year in that division. So not good. GM starting to take a proactive approach to labor there and cut some costs. Also, the UAW guy was at the DNC. He talked a little bit. I guess it kind of leaked out yesterday that Stellantis, they're continuing the fall. 2 pieces of information there that I heard. One, they extended the factory downtime at several of like the motor factories across the United States. It was 1 week, now it's 2 weeks. Some people are saying, hey, it's not stopping there. It might end up going a month or more. They just have an oversupply of products sitting around, motors, cars. Cars are way overpriced. I do believe they're starting to discount those trucks and stuff a little bit. To what extent? I don't know. I mean, a discount looks good, but if you've inflated the price prior, it's still not going to help. People just don't have money to be buying these. I mean, these are expensive 4-wheel drive trucks. So that's one bit of information. The other bit of information that came out is they're looking at potentially not reopening Belvedere here out in Rockford, like about half hour, 45 minutes from here, right on Route 90 heading to Janesville. So they were supposed to get like $145 million from the feds. Yeah. $145 million from the feds, and might not reopen it. It's a huge factory out there. They are still using it as I see that they train in some trucks, like heavy duty trucks and and the ones where like they don't have a body on them, and you would buy them and then have a body put on them. I drove by there about 6 months ago, and it looked like they were using part of the facility as a drop off point for some of these super duty trucks, where they would train them in and then they would truck them out to wherever they need to go. So there you go. Stellantis has got some problems, as reported by. There's a guy out there by the name of TK Thomas Kelly, TK Garage, that's reporting on this heavily. He's got lots of insider information, and it's interesting. It's interesting how the auto industry is starting to look pretty nasty and starting to implode, if you ask me. Not looking good. Not looking good for the auto industry. Um, as I've said before, I don't know a lot of people that have bought new cars or even used cars in the last 6 months. The ones that did buy a new car or a used car, they were like they had to. Their car was falling apart severely, and they were forced to. They had to bite the bullet. They had gone as far as they could with what they had, and were forced to spend the money to get a new car. I've did some videos before where I've taken you guys to a Nissan secondary lot around here that had like 100 cars. It's cleared up a little bit. I was by there about a week ago. It looks like it cleared up a little bit, but that wasn't a good sign when you see it was like the cheap cars too. Was the Sentras? He had like 100 Sentras, maybe 10, 15 Rogues sitting there. Um, the industry's got some problems. Got some problems. Like I said too, I've also noticed this year, and I keep seeing cars that are like shouldn't be on the road. Cars that are like falling apart, duct tape and all sorts of like colorful tapes being used to put these cars back together. Um, I can't believe some of the cars on the road that are on the road. Let's just say that. Um, Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Probably about 2 months ago, I saw a Chrysler minivan going down the road, and the shocks were so bad, it was going like this. And this was on a nice, pretty much level, non potholed road, but it was still going like this. Not every day you see something like that. So the auto industry's got some problems. And I've got some buddies, got some friends that work in that industry. I hope they're ready to be jettisoned out. Like I said, the people I know that work in industry are working for Ford, so not a lot of bad news besides recalls coming out of there. Yeah, they just keep issuing recall after recall after recall at Ford. It's hard to keep track of them all. I do believe there was a couple of, I don't know if it was Ford or another manufacturer. I think it was Ford, where they didn't want you to park your EV indoors because they were afraid it was going to spontaneously combust. Not bell ringing. That is not a bell ringing recall when you're telling people not to park their cars inside because they might explode. Um, EVs suck, people. I'm here to tell you that. Why anyone buys an EV is beyond me. If you own a EV, comment down below if you're going to buy another one when yours explodes and you're on your driveway, or if you park it in your house. Um, I don't know, guys. I cannot believe what people do. Um, just heard Tesla over here in Northbrook is opening a dealership. When I do go over to the North Shore, check out my video about Wilmette. We did a video over there about the migrants in Wilmette, and haven't heard anything. No, DNC has started. Texas has not sent any buses, as far as I can tell. There's no inkling of buses rolling through Chicago as the DNC progresses. Um, lot of people pissed off that they're they can't park. There was one neighborhood, I believe Bronzeville, where yesterday morning these people woke up and they found out they had to move their cars because they've decided to do a no parking zone in their neighborhood, and that pissed off some more people. And I did notice I was by the metro station here, a couple of metro stations here on the Northwest line, and I think a lot of people didn't even go downtown to work. Probably half as many cars at the lots I looked at as there normally is. So a lot of people just stayed home this week, didn't even bother going downtown. Overall, the amount of people going downtown now post Jabby Jabby is probably like 30 to 40%. Um, Before the Jabby Jabby, the lots around here were jam packed. Now, like I said, they're 30 to 40% of what they used to be. The Metro's got some financial problems because 55% of their budget comes from riders and the ridership funding, and people just aren't riding it. So they've got some issues. They got some issues. They're looking to merge it with the CTA and the RTA and whatever else, pace. They're trying to merge some of these things. I think the CTA, Chicago Transit Authority's got some issues too. They're in the process of trying to get the head of their company to retire, or they're pushing him out. They've got some financial issues too, I do believe. Surprise, surprise, that's Chicago running that, folks. Um, the corruption and waste of money in Illinois and Chicago just never stops, folks. You get numb to it. You definitely get numb to it. Um, so yeah, it's interesting how the Dems don't like walls, and yet they've fenced off pretty much everything in Chicago. There's fences around Water Tower Place. There's fences on the side of Michigan Avenue. There's 2 rows of fences around the United Center. There's fences around hotels off of Michigan Avenue where all the high-profile people are staying. Check out my video I did yesterday where we talk about some of the incognito names they're using where they're staying at the Omni. I hear the Omni Hotel just off of maybe Huron or Erie on Michigan Avenue, right in the heart of the shopping district in Chicago, is where a lot of the big wigs are staying. I don't know if you watched the DNC last night, but it was interesting how um, they love Joe, but they overran um, their whole convention by like almost an hour and pushed Joe into like the 11 o'clock hour when normally sitcoms run. I'm hearing there's some news reports today in one of the one of the national rags. I don't know, it was the Washington Post or the New York Times, that it was intentional. They didn't want to give Joe any prime time um, exposure. They just wanted to do what they had to do, and then quickly brisk him off into his plane last night as he headed to California with his family to do some more vacationing. What does Joe do? Joe likes to vacation, that's for sure. So he headed to California and with the rest of the family, and good riddance to Joe. I don't think we'll be hearing much from Joe in the future. Um, I got a feeling that Kamala, however you pronounce her name, is going to try to stay as far away from Joe as she can. I'm hearing she's going up to Milwaukee to the same venue that they had the RNC at. She's going to be giving a speech up there. We'll see how many people she draws. She traditionally, what she does for her events, they're usually not open to the public. She usually pulls in or relies on the unions to fill the seats for her. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Milwaukee's a big Demo rat city very Democrat, very inner city. A lot of Democrats up in Milwaukee, especially in the inner city. But the inner city Milwaukee's pretty nasty after dark. You don't want to be walking around after dark downtown Milwaukee. They've got some crime problems up there, just like Chicago. Most of the gangs in Chicago have set up remote sites in Milwaukee too. So that's a well-known thing. And even in some of the towns on the way up there, Racine and Kenosha, they got quite a bit of gang activity and people hanging out there. So got to be careful when you go from Chicago to Milwaukee. There's a lot of tough towns along the way. So I think I'm going to end it for today. Like, share, and subscribe. This is DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Land Cruiser Midwest. And this is our morning migrant mayhem show, doing the vertical stream here instead of the fancy stream. Some days we do the fancy stream, some days we do the vertical. We mix it up just a little bit. So if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button and share this on social media to anyone you want. And check out the rest of our channel too. We do some car shows, we do some shorts. We've been doing some Walmart shorts. Released a couple of videos yesterday. We're releasing some today. Check those out. And yeah, I've got another video I'm going to be working on maybe today about the apocalypse of shopping strip malls. We've got some empty strip malls around here. The real estate, commercial real estate is just imploding too. So the bubbles are starting to burst, folks. The bubbles are slowly starting to burst around here. And I hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. And we'll see what happens with the DNC today, how the protests go. I think they got another protest scheduled for today. I don't know how big it is, but yesterday wasn't as big as they were saying. They were expecting 100,000. Didn't get it. Certainly didn't get 100,000. So we'll end for today. And we'll end the show as we end every show with the hand slap and a see ya.